Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fury Talks today. Let's get started. Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. These are some of the largest personal brands in human history in terms of name recognition and their global impact. All these people have built multiple brands, but it's their personal brands that are most memorable to us. Personal branding is one of the most useful things you can do towards your own career growth. And given the amazing digital tools that we all have at our disposal, this is probably the best time to dive in. If any of you are wondering how to get started with personal branding, then you're at the right place. We have the right episode here for you today. Here's welcoming all of you to the next episode of Fury Talks, a live talk show that delves into the personal and professional journeys of successful women leaders from around the world. This show features women who not just blazed a trail in their own professional journeys, but have also picked up other professionals and helped them along the way. In today's episode, we have the ever so powerful Amelia Sordell. She's here with us to share her journey and also spill some knowledge beans on the topic of personal branding that she has amazing expertise on. Amelia is the founder of Klowt, a personal branding agency where people build their own brand the right way. Welcome, Amelia, to Fury Talks. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Okay, now we get to a few detailed questions. So, to begin with, we'd love to hear the story of how you moved on to start your own business and how it's been shaping up over the past 1.5 years. The fact that you began during the pandemic is again really inspiring. So, we'd love to hear your story.
Gosh, where do I start? So I guess I kind of fell into personal branding. It's not something that I ever set out to do. I built my own personal brand kind of by accident when I was working in recruitment as a recruitment marketing manager, just because I noticed that it was much easier to reach the people that we were trying to reach through an individual than through the company brand. Because in recruitment, as I'm sure anyone listening who's in that industry knows, it's very saturated. There's a lot of recruiters, there's a lot of people. So trying to stand out is really difficult when there's so many businesses that do the same thing. And so what I noticed was that companies were doing business and candidates were doing business with our recruiters because they liked the recruiter. And so the marketer in me thought, how can we scale that? How can we take the personal element of the recruiter client relationship and market that? And so the obvious choice to me was you get the recruiter to share content, because then that's kind of creating that relationship at scale, right? So I started doing it for myself because I wanted to show the consultants that it was possible and that it worked and all those things. And so I really quickly went from 1,500 followers to about 8,000 followers within like a couple of months, like super fast. And then once I got to about 8,000 followers, I had a DM from someone who had seen my content online and, really liked it and enjoyed it and thought that I would be a good fit for their business. So I moved from that company to the new company, which is called 11 Investments. And I'm still very friendly with that business now, to go and work on their kind of marketing and employee engagement and internal sort of recruitment marketing, etc., for that business. And a big part of my success in that role was continuing to build my personal brand. Now, while I was still talking about recruitment marketing and, all the things that I wanted to be known for back then, I started to get DMs from people saying, oh my God, how did you get 12,000 followers? How did you get 15,000 followers? How did you get, tell us, can you tell me how you did that? And I'm really lazy, Uma. So I didn't want to go back to every single DM I was getting that was asking the same question. So I thought, well, I'll just start telling people how I did this as posts. And I went from 8,000 followers to 23,000 followers like that, because I noticed that people really wanted to know how I did it. And so I kept telling them, and then more people kept following me. And so come, from 23,000 followers, come August that year, middle of the pandemic, I've had time to sit at home and think about what I want to do, as we all did. We all got sent to work from home and had that reflection, that time to go, is this really what I want to do? Is this really, making me happy right now? And the entrepreneur in me context, I had a business when I was 21. It failed miserably, but I've always wanted to do something again for myself. And the entrepreneur in me went, why am I not charging people for this advice? I'm already giving it away for free. So I may as well build a business out of it. And so it was really organic in that, I had this, I figured out how to do this thing. I started telling people how they can do it for themselves. And then people wanted to pay me to do it for them. And I think often the best businesses are that organic. It's like scratching your own itch, or, just it happens really fluidly. So yeah, that was my backstory. And, a couple of 18 months later, I'm 84,000 followers, 100% inbound business.
Wow.
An amazing team. We don't spend a penny on marketing. All of our business comes through my personal brand and my team's personal brands. So yeah.
Lovely. That's a great place to be in. And it's amazing that, like we were discussing before the session started, that personal branding as a theme is very new. So for you to have discovered the power of personal branding and putting a structure around how one needs to go about doing it, that's really amazing, and building a business out of it. So kudos to you. And to build it during the pandemic is just super. Thanks for sharing that. What do you love or hate about yourself?
This is going to sound really arrogant, but I'll give context as to this. I hate when people say I hate this about myself, or when they're asked what they don't like about themselves, because you are the most important person in your life. You are the only person that's ever going to be there 24/7, supporting you, cheering you on, all those things. So never hate anything about yourself. Love everything. Love, the wobbly bits because you haven't been to the gym for a while, or your stretch marks after your children because you gave birth to a human being. Like, love every single part of yourself. And I think that's really, really important. So yeah, I love every single part of myself. I'm in a period of my life, and maybe it sounds arrogant, but I'm very comfortable in my own skin. There is very little that you can do or say to me that's going to make me feel anything other than that. And I think that's a really powerful place to be.
That's What do you Google the most?
Everything. Everything. I actually hire people on their ability to Google stuff, because Googling is a skill, right? If you can access information quickly, i.e. through Google, you're going to be a pretty good individual to have on my team. So I Google everything, anything from, like, for example, if I'm building furniture for my kid's bedroom, instead of reading the manual, I will Google how to do it, because there'll be a video, and that means I can do it much quicker, because I just watch the video and I follow the video. So access to information so much faster. If I need to know a statistic about something, Google. If I need to confirm something, Google. If I want to learn what's happening in the world, Google. Everything, Google.
Great. That's nice. Thank you. 3 questions that you keep getting asked a lot.
3 questions I get asked a lot. Number 1, well, how did you get so confident? I get asked that all the time by people. I think, for context, I haven't always been this confident. Like, when I was younger, I wouldn't say I was shy, because around my family and my friends, I was like I am now. But to people that I didn't know, I was really, I felt very threatened and very unconfident amongst those people. So, I never used to answer my parents' phone because I'd be worried about speaking to someone that, I'd never met before, or I wouldn't order my own food at a restaurant because I was worried about speaking to the waiter and things like that. But I think the thing is about confidence, it's really like a muscle, right? It's like going to the gym and building your body up to be how you want it to look, right? You have to just build that and build that and build that. And the way I've managed to build my confidence is just by putting myself in really stressful situations and handling them. So, exposing yourself to rejection, exposing yourself to the answer no, and being okay with that has been really game changing for me. The second question I get asked all the time is how to build your personal brand, obviously.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll go through that, I think, at some point today on how to practically do that. So I won't answer that right now. And then the third thing is, what is the best platform that I should be on? I get asked that all the time. And the thing that I always say to people is, it's not about the best platform. Like, LinkedIn isn't the best platform. Twitter isn't the best platform. Instagram's not the best platform. TikTok isn't the best platform. There's only the best platform for your audience. So you have to understand where your audience is and then go to that platform. It's like having a party on the same day as the most popular person in town, right? Why on earth do you want to have your own party and try and force people to come from a party they're already attending, when you could just go to that party and hang out with them where they already are? So go to the platform that your audience is actually existing on already, instead of trying to force them onto one that they're not there.
Okay, that's a great analogy. Thank you for sharing with us. Favorite personal brand, your favorite person who's built a personal brand, and you can't take your own name.
I wouldn't say mine anyway. My favorite person who's built a personal brand. You know what? I'm going to say Sarah Blakely, because Sarah Blakely is the woman who founded Spanx, and Spanx on its own is an amazing personal, like it's an amazing brand. Like what they've built with that is just so cool. But the reason why I think her personal brand is so awesome is because she's so real. Like she shares shit days that she has with her kids, and the fact that she's got 4 of them, and that her husband's useless sometimes, and that sometimes she had some really rough times during business, and she shares all the wins of business, and then she also gives back. And yeah, I think I really like her personal brand. I think it's really authentic. I think it's really consistent. It's consistent with her brand messaging of Spanx as well, although she's just sold that business. So yeah, Sarah Blakely. I think she's a great person.
Okay, great. We don't have this question coming later on, hence I just want to dwell for a minute on this. But as you build your personal brand, right, Amelia, and you advise people, how authentic should one be, and how much of it depends on a person's personality versus what one should ideally do? How much of you do you want to really put out there?
Okay, so the whole point of personal branding is that it's personal, right? So I think a lot of people focus a lot of time on the branding part of personal branding and not enough time on the personal bit. So if you think about the whole concept of people buy from people, they're going to buy from you. So unless you're being yourself, and unless you're really bringing yourself into your profile, into your content, it's not personal, really. It's just you're chucking stuff out there and hoping that it works. The amazing thing about your personality is it attracts the people that you want it to attract, and it repels the people that you want to repel. And so my advice to people is always be as authentically you as humanly possible when you're putting content out there, in any capacity, whether it be on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, having a phone call with someone, having a conversation like this, like be you. Because number one, it's really hard to be anyone else. But number two, being you is what will get you where you need to go.
Right, right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks.